Hey everyone, I'm Coder Camel, and this is a summary of how my week has been in coding. So the reason why I'm making these videos is that in my free time I want to improve my coding skills because basically I'm nowhere at the moment. I did kind of an attempt at front-end coding about 2 years ago, but I only studied for, I don't remember, around 2 months, a month and a half, and then I kind of fell off the wagon a bit. Um, but now I really want to get back into it, get up on that horse again. But this time I'm starting from the back end because that's really, before I was following the conventional wisdom that it makes more sense to go in from the front end giggity. But I feel like what I want to do is more back end stuff, even though I haven't done it in practice, but that's what appeals to me. Um, because the stuff with showing different, like designing stuff visually, I know there's more to front end than design, and yeah, there's a lot more to it than design, but I feel like backend stuff just makes more sense to me. So I'm going to start there. The ambition is to become full stack eventually, of course, because there's why leave things out of your toolkit, right? But yeah, so this video is not that planned. I mean, I've looked up a little bit of what I'm going to talk about, but this like this video is not representative of how future videos will be necessarily. Things will improve, but I figured, hey, you got to get started. You got to just go. Um, don't let perfect get in the way of okay. So yes, why am I recording these videos, first of all? So the reason I'm doing this is because um, I am studying this in my off hours after work, which is not a lot of hours, but I want to keep at it and I want to make it a habit. And I need that accountability that if I would just skip a week or do very little one week, then if I have to record a video every week and summarize, what I've been doing, what I'm planning on doing, how I'm feeling and stuff like that, then it's going to be really embarrassing if I have to basically krypa till korset, as they say in Swedish, and say basically, yeah, I procrastinated or things got in the way and I didn't do much. If I have to record these videos, then I know that I will feel that motivation on, say, Wednesday evening at, I don't know, 11:15 in the evening. And I'm like, I kind of just, want to watch a YouTube video and go to bed. But instead, if I have this in the back of my head, no, but you remember, you have to make the video on like at the start of next week, summarizing this week, then, you feel more of a push. You feel more of a reason to actually stick to your habits. Of course, that's not going to be the only thing that's going to make me stick to my habits. I have other ways of planning how I'm going to keep up my habits and stuff like that. But this is one part of the puzzle. So yeah, I'm gonna do one per week. They're probably going to be uploaded on Mondays or Tuesdays, maybe sometimes Wednesdays if I'm really busy at work at the start of the week, but hopefully on Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, now at the start it's gonna be a little bit bare bones, but basically how I've designed it, let's see here, if this is gonna switch me to another scene, magic hotkey. There we go. Let's see, did that switch? Yes, okay, got it. So here's my roadmap. Full stack pro sounds a bit ridiculous. Okay, I'll just keep it like this. So how will I reach my goal? First of all, I can show, let's see, toggle. So this is what I'm using to track whenever I do something productive with coding. So I currently have it running because while this is not coding, it's coding adjacent. I definitely want to count this. And here, let's see here. So this was last week. And is this actually recording here? Yes. So as you can see, these are really small amounts. So like 39 minutes, 28, 17, 13. But I got a few shorter sessions in, and these are often like right before midnight or after midnight and stuff like that. So I'm just squeezing it in wherever I can, because the other major things that are taking up my time is work. So I work around 45 to 50, sometimes 60 hours a week. It all depends on the week. And then I lift, so I go to the gym and I do that 5 times a week. And then I'm also trying to get in enough steps, so around 6,000 to 8,000 steps per day. And that's not counting like indoor stuff or walking in the gym and stuff like that, but more like proper walks, dedicated walks. And these things, and of course, there's life stuff, cleaning up around the house, social stuff with friends, but not that that's too big of a thing here, because I kind of live like a hermit life here, living in a small city. But yeah, so those that and coding is basically, I'm trying to fit coding into that puzzle. And basically, I think the big area where I can squeeze it in is I currently have a few sections where I'm procrastinating a little bit. So let's say I take 1 hour lunch, then for half an hour, I will be eating and watching YouTube. Then for the next half an hour, I'll just be watching YouTube, but I'm done with my food. So I could squeeze maybe 30 minutes or 20 minutes of coding in there. Or squeeze in a walk there. So what means that in the evening, I don't have to take as long a walk, which means I can squeeze in more coding in the evening. So I'm trying to find these little moments in the day where I can squeeze it in. I don't like sticking to a set schedule, because I feel like I'm not good at sticking to them, but I do feel like I'm trying to analyze and find these little spots where I can squeeze it in. So one thing I'm trying now is that whenever I know that I'm doing something non-productive, I'm going to be activating the toggle this non-productive category or project. We'll see how good I am to sticking to that, but it's a nice thought at least. We'll see if it actually works. And if I'm able to do this, then even when I am non-productive, I can still track it, so that then I can analyze and see, okay, in connection to what activities or what moods or what conditions am I non-productive? So maybe then I can work on combating those conditions. So let's say, for example, that maybe I lie in bed for an hour in the weekend, which is, of course, you have to live a little and, lie in bed longer and stuff like that. But maybe I only need to lie in bed extra and, chill for 30 minutes instead of, an hour and a half and just waste my time on YouTube shorts or whatever. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And yes, so last week I only got 5 hours of coding in. I'm going to try to make it around 7 hours this week. We'll see how that goes. I was able to get in 36 minutes before work today in the morning, but I'm not much of a morning person, so that I probably will get, it's more common that I will just get it in the evening. And let's see here, what else? Yeah, so the service or the app that I'll be mostly using, of course, I'll be building stuff on my own, just messing around in idle, like the Python interpreter, because I'll be starting with Python as my language, and also in VS Code. But the main site that I'll be using is boot.dev. So here they have you start with Python, so I'm about halfway through there. Actually, is this? Yes, this is share my screen. And then you do shells and terminals, Git, a project, object-oriented programming, a project, functional programming, static site generator, algorithms, data structures. This is going to be really interesting, but I think it's really heavy. project, memory management project, Go, HTTP clients, Pokédex, SQL project, and so on. And then there's some additional stuff here. So I've sectioned this up in parts here, you can see. So this is month 1, so I started counting from 20th of September, but I'm gonna call 20th of September to the last of October 1 month, because feels a bit lame to make month 1 just 1 week. So finished the Python course, so I'm almost done here, and I really like making these little status symbols. It's so satisfying to mark something as completed, and especially when you look back at a list later and it's all green, it's just like, it's like hearing angel choirs. And then, so I'm going to finish the Python course this month, and then shells and terminals, and then practice 3 hours of speaking well. So I definitely know that I have an issue of, I could express myself way better. I could be more interesting when I speak. I could stutter less. I could definitely, my biggest issue I feel like is that I use a lot of filler words. So yeah, and just filler noises. See, I just did it. Like at the start of sentences. So that's something that I'm going to be working on, because not only will that make my videos more enjoyable, it will also help me at work, because I'm in a lot of meetings, and of course I want to be as good as possible at my job. And I'm going to be mainly using this channel as like a reference, because I feel like this guy, Askvin, he has a lot of useful stuff. I think you should definitely check him out. And also make myself other areas I also want to improve in, but the main thing is remove and fillers, and make me a more interesting conversationalist, not only on videos and in meetings, but also when you're just talking with people. You can always improve at something, and I feel like this is an area where I could get a lot of return for the relatively small amount of energy I would have to put in to work on this. So for example, as a person, I'm very fact-based. So when I talk, there's a lot of facts and asking questions about facts and stuff like that. But that's not very interesting conversation for many other people. So I'm trying to bake in more things regarding stories, and that the stories are not about facts, especially because when I'm like, I have to tell a story, then this and this and this happened, and okay, yeah, what was the point? To try to more bake in feelings and stuff like that, so it's anchored in something. And also, I'm not sure if I'll get into this. Automate the boring stuff with Python. This is a free book. I think, see, I just again. And now you're going to notice it every time I do it, because I'm annoyed with it. But I'm going to get better at it. So automate the boring stuff with Python. I think it's cool because it teaches you how to do a lot of useful stuff, like writing to files, scraping the web. And this is not that useful for my goals, but I think it would be a fun side project. So this is not something that I'm like, I have to finish this in month 1, but this is more something that when maybe I'm a bit stuck here and I want to do something lighter, or I want to do something more, less heavy, basically, then I'll fill in with some of this. And also, I'm going to start a company, so then when I do go into eventually switch into either at my current company, switch into a software dev role, which is probably not that likely, that because they'll probably look for way more experienced people than I am for this role. But if it will probably be at another company, then I might be a consultant, or I might just do SaaS at the start just to mess around and get some experience under my belt, get some projects for my portfolio. So if I want to do that, then I think it's good to have a company in place so that I can actually, like, if I if I do SaaS stuff, probably nothing I do will make money, realistically, because there are so many more people who are more experienced than me that would do it. But you never know, and it's good to be prepared for everything. So I'm going to be called Camelid AB. I believe I haven't completely decided yet, but I think I'll go for that. Coder, Camel, and stuff like that. If people hear Camel in Sweden, they're just going to think, oh, by the way, I'm Swedish. I don't know if I told you about that. And I currently live in Sweden in a small, tiny city. If people just hear Camel, they're going to think cigarettes. So Camelid is the parent group that contains camels and other like llamas and similar species. So probably I'll go with this. And then I need to do some of these things. And also I need to buy some stuff like a green screen so you don't have to see all this annoying ugly stuff, these wardrobes in the background and my bike and my hallway. I also need to get the ring light so there's actual light. This YouTube channel, nothing of this is ever going to make money. This is not my intention. This is just here for accountability purposes, but I figured if you're going to do something, you might as well put some energy into it. So that's what I'm doing. And then for month 2, basically it's just going down this order because this is sequentially laid out from top to bottom. So I'm just going to, this is a rough estimation of how long things will take. This is subject to change, of course, because I don't know, will this actually take longer or shorter? Maybe I'll actually be able to move Git finish Git by month 1, or maybe I need to, some of these will take longer than expected and I'll need to move them later. That's fine. That's not the end of the world, but I need to have some goals and I'll try to stick to them as good as possible. And if it's possible to compress them more, all depending on how much free time I have and how efficient I am, then all the better. And then we have, the Git, object-oriented programming, build an asteroids game, functional programming, and then a static site generator. I think this one could be pretty tricky. I've heard it's the first biggest, threshold where it gets hard. So this is going to be interesting. And then after something hard, of course, algorithms and data structures. This is going to be a heavy week, but it's going to be really interesting. And then after that, a project, some memory management, and this is done in C, I believe. So that's really cool. And then a project, and then Go. Probably this Go can be moved up to here. And then it just continues down with different backend stuff. So yeah, that's my plan. Is there anything else? Yeah, I didn't go into too much regarding coding concepts and stuff like that. I mean, I'm still doing in this video, because I'm still doing, basic stuff, so it's not going to interest anyone. So yeah, that's basically what my journey is going to look like. If you have any questions or if you have anything to comment, please let me know. And yeah, see you guys next week. Camel out.